Hey, what's up everybody? In this video we are going to look at CSV files, and CSV stands for comma separated values. And if we can understand a CSV file, then we can understand eventually how we can import and export data to and from Excel, like using Python or MATLAB. So that's what we're going to look at here. Let's check it out. I'm going to start by just making some toy data, and I will say maybe voltage. I'll have a column be voltage, a column be current, milliamps, and then maybe a column be resistance, and maybe the resistance will be in kilo ohms. And I'm going to say, oh, I got left off my bracket there. I'm going to say that we have a resistance of like 2.2 kilo ohms, and maybe we apply some voltage, maybe 0, 1, all the way steps of 1 down to 10. And you don't need to know this, but the current, if I had such a situation, would be the voltage divided by the resistance. Now the resistance is not changing, and so I need an absolute reference here. So what you do need to know is that I'm going to calculate the current using a formula. This is going to be important in just a little bit. So I'm going to take the voltage in A2 divided by the resistance in C2 and hit enter, and of course that gives me 0. But I'm going to come up here to the formula bar, and I'm going to enter the dollar signs to make the resistance C2 an absolute reference, and then I'm going to drag down. And there is my current. Okay. Now again, I want to point out that I calculated the current using formula. So if I click on any one of these things, you see the formula in the formula bar. I also again want to point out that the resistance column is almost empty. There are all these empty cells here except for the first two rows. Alright, now I'm going to save this with Control S, and it's saved on my desktop as testfile.xlsx. So this is the new format of Excel, right? That's the extension XLSX. If you had an old Excel file, it would be XLS, and this still works in that case as well. Anyway, I've got the XLSX file on my desktop, and now I'm going to save a copy. And I'm going to come up here to File, Save As. I'm going to save it on my desktop. Why not? You can save it in any folder that you want, but I'm going to save it as type CSV. So I'm going to come down here at Save As Type, and I'm going to change it to CSV right there. Now you'll also see CSV Macintosh, CSV MS-DOS, that's Apple and Windows, but I'm just going to choose the more general CSV comma delimited right there, and you'll notice my file name test file. You can change that if you want, but the important thing here is that it's .csv. So I'm going to click Save. That saves a copy, and I get a warning that some of the features in the workbook might be lost if you save it to CSV. Do you want to keep using this format? I'm going to click Yes, because I have two copies now. One is in the native Excel format, and one is this new CSV. CSV is a plain text kind of format, and so when it says that we're losing some functionality, what it means is we're going to lose this idea of calculating values using formulas and any sort of formatting things like bolding and coloring. We're going to lose all of that information in our CSV file. So that's what I want to show you next. I'm going to minimize this and come to my desktop. All right, here's my desktop, so you'll see testfile.csv, and you'll notice the Excel logo for me. That means it opens by default with Excel, even though it's not a native Excel file. But I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to open it in a plain text editor, Notepad on Windows or Text Edit on Mac. There are other options too, but here's my Notepad. So now we see really the heart of the CSV file. Here's the first row, right? And it's voltage, current, resistance, and those items are delimited using a comma. Here's the next row, and so that means the rows are delimited using the new line character. here's the next row, right? 0, comma 0, comma 2.2. 2.2 is that resistance. And then remember all the further rows were missing a resistance. So if we come down here to the third row, you'll notice that I have 1 comma, then here's the current, and then I have another comma. And so that means now here is the third column, but there's nothing there. So in the third column is the empty character. And I know there's an empty character there because of the comma. It's saying, okay, we're going to have another value. That another value is that next value is the empty character. So there are our data in the CSV file. Nice. Okay, once I have that CSV file, I can, well, let's say I X out of this CSV test file.csv. So I'll X out of that, close that. Yeah, sure, why not save it? No, I guess we'll cancel. Let's not save it. Okay. Now let me open it, and again, because Microsoft or because the Excel logo is displayed, it will open it by default. So let me double click that, and Microsoft Excel has no problem opening up CSV files, you see. So I have my data here, but notice that some of the information has been lost. If I click on any one of these values, you'll notice that the formula in the formula bar is gone, right? And that's why Microsoft Excel gives us that warning that we're losing some information here. We just have the values, we don't have the formulas. Also, the width of my columns has been reset as well. So the CSV file is actually a lot simpler, but sometimes simple is good. And this simple CSV file is going to help us actually export the data to Python and export it into MATLAB. All right, that's it for now. And thank you very much.